All right, here goes our next load. Military load. Easy securement. You know, technically you can go across because these are under 10,000 pounds. So you can go one chain all the way across and be fine. But I feel more secure this way where I secure it on all four corners, you know. Of course, whenever your chain is binding, you gotta protect it, right? Make sure, I try to always make sure that my chains are not dangling. I know it looks kind of like weird, but I tell you what, a trucker, a flatbedder or open deck trucker would actually love to see that. It looked like in the jungle. So yeah, it's not hard to secure, right? Only two of them should be easy on the way down there. One thing I would tell you though, this one guy behind me, he's also a trucker, cool guy, but he told me like he got a ticket one time for using the chain in this manner. So basically this is just one chain from that, but I have two binders on it and it's pulling on the bed, and he's telling me that he got a ticket for, technically the DOT said that's one chain. I said, okay, you should have told that DOT to cite me that violation number. Cite it to me. Because I like to see that. Over here I use 10-foot chains, right? Because this one's a little different. Like I really need to get like shorter chains so I can hook, you know, on something like that. See, the way I put it here instead, this is still a tie down point for this Humvee, but instead of here, because the angle, right? I didn't like that angle, so I put it at this angle. I think it's a much better securement device then. Okay, anyway, let's get rolling. Go check this thing out, right? These things are actually literally brand spanking new. Right? What's the model number on that thing? Nomenclature 1152A. So if you see this glass, it's a lot thicker. So this thing is up armored. I don't know what level that is. Like when we were doing like retrofit on these things, there's like levels to it. I think this might be the latest. I mean, it has to be, right? It's brand new. Look at this window. They don't open very much. But like this right here, this glass is gonna be able to stop a 762. Last time I remember. Actually, the description on that glass is right there. So this is it. This is like I think this is a maintenance. It has to be, yeah. It's a maintenance type of Humvee. Dang. Even the doors and stuff, like, it's armored. You see that? Like in here, there's a Kevlar in between that. In there somewhere, there's a Kevlar in there, if I remember correctly. And also, like, the bottom of that is gonna be lined with armor. I mean, these would never stop anything though. Like when we were in Iraq, we started adding like a lot of armor underneath this thing, and these things actually started squatting a lot. The ball joints, you see, like if you look at the way the ball joint is made, this is an independent suspension, right? So that means like everything is independent. Okay, so right there, the lower control arm is only being held by a ball joint. Upper control arm is also being held by a ball joint with that hub right there. And these things, you would see them a lot when they add a lot of armor to them. They would squat. They squat so much that we changed, like, they would squat like you can literally see it like that, you know. And we had to change a lot of them ball joints, and them ball joints on these things are no joke. We changed a lot of ball joints, changed a lot of that control arm bushings and things like that. So, yeah, fun days, fun days. But yeah, this is, I don't think this is a specific maintenance vehicle, because if it was a maintenance vehicle, like they have tools and stuff in there, right, that'd be taller. I don't know why it's so much shorter. So I don't know what they use this for. Maybe I'll ask the unit when I get there. I don't even think it's going to a specific unit. I think it's just being shipped over there, maybe a DRMO at Fort Riley, and they'll distribute it out, you know. Check this out, right? What's some of the most pain in the booty to replace is that right there. Disc brake, the most pain in the butt thing to replace on this doggone vehicle. Oh yeah, I can't forget the starter. The starter is like over here somewhere down this way. It's not an easy thing to get to, that's for sure. This brings back memory. This brings back a lot of memories. Look at that. Slave receptacle. and you know what's gonna bring back a lot of memories too is we going to Fort Riley, Kansas. That's my old unit. That's the end of the day. We're actually close to Fort Riley. Fort Riley is just about maybe 10 miles down that way. So we're just gonna go ahead and shut down here in this rest area. It's a nice little rest area. It's on the east side of Fort Riley. It's on the I-70. I could have kept going and parked like even closer to the commercial entrance, you know, commercial vehicle entrance, but I figure this one is easier because, I mean, they have a bathroom just in case I gotta use the bathroom, right? Since you guys asked for me to tell some war stories, here we go. You see that piece right there? That hood right there. Man, I have gotten some of the best sleep in my life on top of that hood. Because, see, the thing is, it's like, you're probably asking, why don't you sleep inside? Well, there's no room in there, man. You can't make no room in there to sleep inside, you know. The ones we used to have actually didn't have a solid roof, no solid top at all, you know. So it was all, a lot of it was canvas or open, right? It was wide open. So yeah, that right there makes for a really good bed, you know. You may be asking, why not on the ground with a cot or something? Well, a lot of times when we roll out, like when we rolled out from Kuwait to go into Iraq, we had nothing with us. All we had was our pack, right? And just the vehicle. That's all we had. We had some water with us. We had some MREs. That was it. And whenever, that took 3 days. It took 3 days for us to get past Baghdad, you know, from the border of, Kuwait, all the way up. It took 3 days, and it's not even that far. It just takes 3 days. It just takes a long time because we had a whole brigade with us, and it takes a long time to move, you know. Anyway, yeah, that some of the best sleep I've ever had, man, is right here. You lay down across like that, just like that. You lay out like whatever kind of cushioning you want to lay out on there, and you just lay there. And then when it was cold, it was even better. But you know, that's probably why I'm kind of all jacked up in the head right now. I had too much carbon monoxide. Is that what it is? Because like we leave that thing running, right, just so you get some heat when you're sleeping on it, on top of it. But yeah, probably could have had a whole lot of that toxic fumes in my head, you know, while I'm sleeping. That's probably why I'm not all there, you know. Here we are at the base, actually at the gate where we're supposed to be coming into. So Let me talk a couple of things about military loads, right? When you're delivering into a military installation, such as this place, Fort Riley, or picking up in that matter, a lot of times, a lot of your raycon and addresses that they give you are not going to be like accurate, right? It's not going to be the actual point of location, right? Where you need to enter the location. So, like, bases will have gates, right? And those gates have specifics. And specifically, when it comes to commercial vehicles, they have a specific entry point to these locations. So, you know what I do most of the time when I pick up at a military installation is I look up that what the name of that military installation, and I Google it, right? And I put on their commercial entrance, and a lot of times you will find it. Also, like on Google Map, right? Google Maps will show you where the commercial entrance is. So if you Google that location, let's say, hold on one sec. So if you Google for Fort Riley, it didn't show up. Okay, so let's go look at another place. Let's look at, let's say, let's just say Nellis Air Force Base. Okay, I don't know. That's the first thing that come to mind. And on Google Maps, you just type in there commercial gate. You see how it shows up right already. So as soon as like you put in punch, air air's running low, but as soon as you put in like Nellis Air Force Base on, and then it takes you there, right? And then you put in commercial, it'll show up right there, boom, and then it'll show up on the list, and it'll tell you, to get there, right? Because a lot of times, like, look at everybody here is commercially, right? I mean, I don't think I'm supposed to be recording these guys, but I'm trying. I'm trying to be a little bit more discreet. I mean, we're not doing any harm. We're just trying to, show that that's what they do, and then they do their security checks. They do their, background checks. They have a little office over here, you know what I'm saying? So they run your background and things like that. And before you come in, before you enter, they check your vehicle, they check all of your storages and things like that to get in, right? And also, another thing about military loads, right? I mean, when you're delivering to a military base, see, a lot of military installations, man, they have room and they don't. So if you're delivering to like direct to a direct unit, right? Their motor pool, right? The motor pool is what they call motor pool, where all like what we're delivering, right? We're delivering a couple of Humvees, so the motor pool is going to be closed. Okay, so a lot of times there's not going to be like no shoulder to park on. So I mean, the best thing to do is type in, right, and type the address and look it up, right, and do Google Maps live view, and then you'll be able to see it, right? Anyway, this one in particular does not have. It looks like we're delivering to a CIF, which is what is CIF? Central something facility, inventory facility, something like that. I can't remember what CIF stood for, but anyway, when I was in, CIF was your nemesis. Okay, CIF. See, CIF is where you get all of your stuff, right? I mean, all of your gears, right? Like clothing and stuff, and gear, and like things that you use, like military bags, military boots, military uniform, all of this, right? And a lot of things that you have to return back over there to CIF. A lot of times, man, they'd be like, "Oh, it's dirty, bro. Wash it, bring it back. Oh, it's dirty. Wash it, bring it back." You'll be there forever, man. They never accept things, they issue it, either you take it or leave, when they issue it to you. But when they take it back from you, they be like, "No, it's not clean enough." Anyway, so also, like, when you do delivering military loads, right, it's very crucial to make sure that you make contacts with your point of contacts. So all of those point of contacts should be on the military BOL, and that BOL will have all that information on there, and just make contact with them. You know what I mean? And that's what we're waiting on right now. We're waiting on directives to proceed or not. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I said, I don't. There are some places that will open by 7 o'clock. I mean, the Raycon is showing they open at 7 o'clock. They don't. You know, they still got to do PT. They still got to do all of this. So they probably open at like maybe 8 or 9 o'clock. I don't know. I don't know their hours of operation. I actually should have called yesterday, but I forgot. I got so busy trying to get here as fast as I could, you know. So anyway, either way, it doesn't matter. I already left a voicemail to our point of contact, and hopefully he'll be calling us back here soon. Man, I tell you, the type of weather that we have been through in the past week and a half or so, we went from 70 degrees to blizzard condition, to windy condition, back to freezing condition, back to the 70s, and on to the 30s, and then it went to freaking windy, and then it went to, I mean... I guess it's trucking, right? That's what you experience in trucking, is all kinds of weather conditions, and it's just been so. The wind, man, the wind's been so strong. I mean, rightfully so, right? We're right there, right above the Panhandle, which is some of the windiest places, right? So it's just that wind is just trickling all the way down to where we are right now. Speaking where we are in Colorado, right? This is our load. This load is actually a TQL load. Can you believe that? This is a TQL load. It's just a container. It is loaded. So, containers. So one thing about containers, right? They have specific guidelines on these. I'm probably gonna make a video, another securement video this weekend regarding this one right here. But anyway, so we got her secured with chains in the front, chains in the back, all four corners, chains, right? And then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straps. It's a 40-foot container, okay? Got plenty of straps, got plenty of securement, okay? It's I think it's loaded about 22,000 pounds, and most of it is freaking right here. It's crazy. When I was picking it up, right, I was like, hey, it's loaded, right? Where's the most weight? They said it's back there. And the way they loaded it, they had to load it with a loader with a fork, okay? It was in a getaway. So they had a 12K forklift or telehandler, and then they have a loader to load it both. So what they did is they drug it, right? So it was sitting in a yard, just like the way it is right now, but it's sitting on the ground, right? So they have to drag it out into the open just so they can load it, okay? So when the 12K forklift dragged it out, okay, I was like, it's gotta be light, right? Anyway, and then the wheel loader picked it up from the side, right? And then I backed into it, lifted it up, and then I backed into it, and then they lowered it. And the way they lowered it, right, it was genius actually, because so they put the thing down with the loader, the forks down, right? So it's not all the way on the thing yet. And then the telehandler goes to the rear, right? And once I'm under it and I'm happy with the position of it, they left the loader right there. And then the telehandler goes to the rear, lifts it up, and puts the weight right here, right? Gets the weight off the loader, and then the loader backs out, and then the telehandler puts it down. I thought that was pretty cool, you know. I thought they were gonna be rough with it. I was gonna stop them because, you know, we don't want to mess up our bed, right? But they were really, really smooth, and they did it like no issue, you know. No slamming, nothing like that. So I was like, dang. We'll end the vlog here, but let me say something about, Fort Riley, coming into Fort Riley, right? That military load. Uh, they actually checked out the whole truck. Like, they were almost kind of like nosy. I It's been a long. I haven't had that actually. I've been with a semi inside a lot of bases, and they like only the ones that actually went very as accurate as these guys did at Fort Riley was the Canadian border. The Canadian border, they check everything. You know what I mean? They go look at every single thing. As a matter of fact, one time I was crossing into the Canadian border, I had supplements, right? I had supplements with me. This was like back in 2016. I was still driving for David, right? I had supplements with me, and they said I could not take that supplement into Canada because it wasn't like approved by Canada's health or something like that, health department or some crap. I said, what the heck? And you know what they also said? They said, that's gonna go on your record on the Canadian side, okay? Like, what record, It's gonna be, I guess it's gonna be annotated onto my name that I was trying to bring that across. Like, so not only they confiscated it from me, they told me that next time I go through the Canadian border and I have that on my possession, they're gonna arrest me. I said, I am talking about a supplement that we get from the GNC. Okay? I can almost guarantee you that same supplement, probably not the same name, but that same supplement you will be able to get at the GNC in Canada. Canadians are, I tell you, Canadians are very hostile towards Americans when you're crossing the border. Why? I have no idea, man. I mean, at least I felt that way whenever I crossed the American the Canadian border, which is crazy, man. Canadians are some of the nicest people. Once you get past the Canadian border, like Canada is so nice, People there are nice. But for some reason, like I feel that their tension at the Canadian border, their customs, our customs on our side. I mean, I don't know, it's because if it's because of me or whatever, but as soon as they plug in my passport and everything, boom, you're good to go, no problems, no issue, just come on in. But them Canadian borders, man, Canadian border customs, man, ooh, they're a little rough on the edges, man. And that's how I felt with these guys at the Fort Riley, right? She was opening my camera bag. She was looking at like every little compartment, and she asked me as soon as she got done, right? I didn't know that she was doing that, right? And they were doing everything else. I was, opening the boxes and things like that on the outside while another person was in here, which was she, and then she was in there, she was in here looking in, right? Anyway, and then as soon as she got done and we were done, we were outside, she asked me, what is this for? Why I gotta ask, why do you have these camera equipment? Those look fancy and this and that and this and that and the other. I was like, at first thought, I was like, why does that matter? You know what I mean? Why does it matter that it's not prohibited to bring that in, right? I understand that, you can't be taking pictures on base or things like that. Okay, I get that. I mean, that's probably, I understand where she's coming from. That's probably what she was trying to imply is that, that you can't be doing that stuff in here. And I told her what I do, you know what I mean? I vlog and stuff like that. I vlog my trucking journey and things like that. And then she's like, well, you can't be doing that in here. I said, yes, I know. Wow, that's pretty strict, man. Fort Riley, I mean, I gotta give it to him. Yeah, that's good, right? I like that. And I mean, it protects the base, I appreciate that a lot, you know what I mean? Like, but they were like one of those private security. They're contracted security. They're not your MPs or SFs for the base, because most of the time your MPs and SFs, they kick careless, man. I would say she was probably one of those individuals that, it was only her too, right? She was probably one of those individuals that are hoorah, you know what I mean? Just gung-ho type person, I mean, Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Anyway, that's the end of the video. I think I'm gonna try to do one video every other day. At least I'm gonna try. Okay. When I get busy, I tell you, I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? If it interferes with what we're doing out here as far as trucking, I am not prioritizing vlogs, and I know you guys understand that. So anyway, we will see you guys in the next video.